Shalom Aleichem. Welcome to the ancient city of Gamla. Gamla itself is a city, matter of fact, right on the, I can't call it the southern shores of the sea, the northern shores of the Sea of Galilee, but if we went down this valley behind us, we're about 5 miles from the Sea of Galilee, probably 7 miles from Bethsaida, which is the hometown of Peter and Andrew. And so we are in the northeast corner of the Galilee. And behind us would be the Decapolis. And that would be the pagan area where religious Jews would not go. Here at Gamla, there is so much history related to the Jewish wars and the rebellion from 67 to 73 AD. But what we wanted to come here for, again, is we're in the discipleship series. And we're talking about what is it about a disciple in Jesus' day. What characteristics did they have? What have we talked about so far? We've talked about the fact that for Jesus, and even for other rabbis, they are choosing their students, their Talmid, that's the Hebrew word for disciple, and they're bringing them from common, ordinary little towns in the Galilee, because this is the Galilee is the, you might say, the central place of this idea called the Rabbi and Talmid. And another thing that we talked about is the central place of unity, the central place of unity of the insula, the family living together, brothers living together with their wives, and all of the nephews and nieces running around the big courtyard. And that insula connected to another insula, the oneness in the town, the oneness that they had. They understood unity in a far different way than we did. And in every town, as we just mentioned in Chorazin, there is a synagogue. This synagogue, and this is why it's so exciting to bring you here, this synagogue was open in Jesus' day. This is just amazing. I just happened to walk into the main door, and just outside the door is a mikveh. And again, if you go into the extras section of this, you'll understand that indeed you could actually see pictures of this mikveh as coming in here. Coming into it, to the actual room itself, here is the, you might say, the Holy Ark. And in the Holy Ark would be the Torah scrolls. So you might have the scroll of Genesis and Exodus, the 5 scrolls of the Torah, the scrolls of all of the prophets and so on would be here. And then you have the central meeting room itself. You see the steps all around. That would be for the chief priests. That would the chief seats, not chief priests. The chief seats as they go all the way around. Primarily, that is supposed to be for the elderly of the town. In the 21st century, we do not have a respect for those of us with gray hair. But in Jesus' day, those with gray hair, those are the older ones of the community, were considered the wise ones. The ones with wisdom, life experience that they could be able to share with the young. And so they were able to give them those chief seats. This would be the place of worship. And actually in the place of worship, it is theorized. And as far as I've learned, that indeed there would be people sitting here, perhaps many even of the young people. The school is just in the next room back here. It's a small school. I'll just happen to go up over in there. And in the school, we have learned that for the Hebrews, for the Jewish people in Jesus' day, it was somewhat mandatory for the students to go to school from about age 5 until about age 12. And they learned reading and writing, perhaps even some ciphering, but it was all based upon God's Word, upon the Torah. It's interesting to note that there are scholars who are saying that in those days, because of the synagogue and because of the mandatory education that every Jewish child, especially the boys, would be required to participate in, what you actually had was the Jewish people were probably the most literate people on the face of the earth. Forget the Greeks, forget the Romans. It was the Jews. So as we take a look at this, one of the most important places of the synagogue is the Bema. And this is the place probably where a table was set up. And they would bring the scrolls out from the ark and lay them out here. And what I find fascinating is this specific Bible verse. I'm in Matthew chapter 4, and this is the last city of the Galilee. Across this terribly deep valley, and that way is the Decapolis. And so Jesus is teaching, and it says this in Matthew 4, verse 23. Jesus was going throughout all Galilee. All Galilee. Now that gives you the impression this is part of the Galilee, and he would be here. Proclaiming the gospel of the kingdom and healing every kind of disease and every kind of sickness among the people. It says teaching, he's going throughout the Galilee, teaching in their synagogues. And this is where a rabbi, like Yeshua, would be invited to stand. He would be standing here reading the Torah and then doing commentary.